it's Dee, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you all have had a nice little break from me, because you're not going to get another one for a while. That's the plan, and we stick it to it. We stick it to the plan. Anyway, it's about that time. As you all know, I started this channel about a year ago. A little over, just a little bit. But my first video on this channel was things that I'd learned my sophomore year. So we're gonna follow up with some things that I learned my junior year. Okay, so the first one, I'm gonna say this one because it's so relevant. And I had a similar point last year, but it's kind of different. It's like changed up a little bit. So again, communication. Guys, communication is so important. And not only with, like, I think last year I talked about, like, with your significant other or whatever. Yeah, no. We're not talking about that this time. We're talking about just in general, having a good line of communication with, like, your friends and, like, the people around you. Those are, like, that's your network. Those are the people who are gonna, like, hold you up, keep you grounded, and make sure that you're good. But if they don't know what's going on with you, they can't really do that. And so just kind of like keeping people informed, keeping people updated, it's really important. And not only that, communication with your teachers. Guys, I had so many health issues this semester, and they really wanted to try me. I don't just get like normal like illnesses. I did get like some that had me knocked out forever. So for the past 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I've been ridiculously sick. Like, so sick that I did not take my vitals. That's how bad it was. And I'm still not exactly sure what it was. But yeah, so me actually reaching out and talking to my professors helped me not be able to take those finals, but also reaching out to other students, because I got the contact information of the dean that I need to talk to have that put in place from a senior who is in my major. So thank you so much. Saved my life, saved my GPA, although I do still have to take them in August when I'm taking the GRE. Yay. All right, so the next one is that a reason is not an excuse. Let me repeat that. A reason is not an excuse. Let me explain. So you can have so many reasons to do something just because you want to, because you like it, someone pissed you off, I don't know what it is. However, that does not excuse your actions or how you choose to deal with it. I think that I heard these exact words on a podcast, and they were specifically talking about like how they raise their kids. And while I'm not thinking of it in that way, I'm more so thinking of it like people who don't understand why they can't say the N-word, right? Right. And so they might have their reasoning that they should be able to, but that does not excuse them from the consequences when they do say it. And so basically that was just something that I've kind of like really set in, and although it wasn't something that I necessarily like learned for myself, it kind of helped me like explain to other people certain things and when things were problematic, and I guess myself a little bit too, just because me and one of my friends had a little bit of falling out. We're fine now, we're great, but just kind of like all of the stress and everything that was like building up, and we had like a really good reconnection and like apology, but it's just like we both had our reasons to be like that, but it was not an excuse to treat each other the way that we did. And so that's just something that that you need to take into consideration. So my phone decided to stop recording. It just wasn't full or anything. It's just like, nope, 5 minutes, you good. I'm like, you serious? Are you for real right now? But this next one is a pretty good one. I like this one. But this just kind of came just from my experience abroad mainly. And And I know you all have probably heard this, it's kind of floating around all the internet and stuff, but it really hit me this year, or this school year rather, is that I am only in my 20s, and I know that all of you all probably aren't in your 20s, but you don't have to have everything figured out, and you don't have to be at a certain point in your life right now. Like, there's some people who are getting married and having babies and graduating and stuff, and like, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that. And it's actually like such an American thing to like, specifically the education one, to like rush the education, because when I was in Australia, most of the Europeans are gonna be mad at me for saying that because they don't like when we just group them with like just saying Europeans, but it's the easiest way to get my point across. But the majority of the Europeans that I studied abroad with were, what, over 22? And they were doing undergrad, which is kind of cool, right? Because they still get to like travel and do all of these other things, but like, excuse me, but and do all of these other things, but they're not rushed and pushed and like stressed out about getting it done at a certain time. And I just think that that's something that is so important that we can like learn from other countries, because we put such like an emphasis on being able to graduate in 4 years. And while it is important, especially for like financial aid and stuff, it's not the end all be all. And that goes for everything else. Like, we're so young and we have so much time to do what we want. So why rush it and not enjoy this time that we have? And on top of that, like, this is not the only time of our lives that we have to enjoy. And so at this, on the same coin, opposite side, is that how that same coin, opposite side? I don't know how that saying goes. Hold on. Ooh. All right, we cracked my neck, cracked my fingers. Okay. Same coin, different side, but also, you don't have to just rush everything now and try to get all the fun out now, because there's plenty of time to do it later. Like, my roommate, I'm not saying she's old or anything, like, but she's 4 years older than me. At the time I was 20, so she's 24. But she would party just as hard, if not harder, than all of the 20 and 19-year-olds. So there's nothing. My mom still goes out, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not trying to get my butt beat. But anyway, obviously she's my mama, so she has to be older than me, right? Yes. And she still goes out sometimes. And so, like I'm saying, you don't have to rush everything now. And that goes from the being serious to the having fun part. Just, yeah, we don't gotta rush it. And I know that everyone's talking about like having your own timeline and stuff like that, but I really do believe that. Like, I think that everything happens for a reason, and everything happens at a certain time for a reason, and you just kind of have to sit back and enjoy the ride sometimes. Oh, this is another really, really good one, and this one is also motivated by my time in Australia, but it's also motivated just by the fact that I only have 1 year left. And that just kind of like hit me hard, because I'm like, wait, what? I only have 1 year left in school? What? Who said that was okay? But just because of that, I just realized that it's such an important thing to make time for the people around me, just because it's not guaranteed that I'll be able to see them again, which is kind of a downer when you put it that way. But like, they're going back to their own countries in terms of study abroad, or they're going in other ways? I don't know. What is English? Other than that, they're also going to like different grad schools, going off to work and doing all of these amazing things after we leave college. And it's unlikely that you'll be able to see them before your class reunion. And who wants to wait that long? Not I, but we can't really control that. So just like really taking time to like talk to the people around you and enjoy them, and just the fact that they're there is really important, because never in your life are you going to be surrounded by as many like-minded people who are around the same age as you are now you're not going to be able to get the same sort of conversation that is going to challenge you and motivate you and just kind of like build your intelligence as you are when you're in college. And I just think that's such an important thing to take note of and hold on to, and just cherish the moments that you have with your friends now, because they're not always going to be there, and that's definitely a bummer. And we hope that they're going to be there, but we don't know the future, unfortunately. Okay, so this last one isn't really something that I learned. It's more so realization, but I guess that's technically something that you learn. But it was just kind of like my socioeconomic status compared to some of my peers, because as I've told you all before, I go to a top 20, in the top 20 universities, and so it's just kind of like interesting to see all of the different things that my peers are able to do that I can't necessarily take a part of. And it's not even like significant amounts of money. Like my best friend, love her to death. There's nothing wrong with what she said, but we were just talking about, ooh, I'm gassy. But, we were just talking about like massages, and she's like, oh yeah, massaging fee isn't that much. And I was like, excuse you? What? Because massaging fee is $90 for the massages. And I think that's if you don't have a membership. But, I was like, you sure? Sure about that? And I mean, like, obviously, it's probably not that much, but me, I'm trying to get like a $50 massage. And even then, I don't want to spend that much. I'll go ahead and just do a 30-minute massage for like 25, 30 bucks. And that's that. But it's just like little things like that. But not only that, what actually triggered all of this was when me and one of my friends were trying to get an off-campus apartment, and they all required like 2 times the rent. And so me and this other friend both have full rides, and so the school was going to reimburse us to like help pay for the housing that we're getting. But of course, the apartment requires you to have 2 times the income for just to ensure that you're able to like actually pay for it, which makes sense. But like our money was guaranteed because we're getting it straight from the school, but that didn't matter. It still couldn't count. And if we wanted to have a guarantor, they would have to have 3 times that amount, which, considering we both have full ride scholarships, her families just couldn't pay for. And it was just kind of like a bummer to like realize that. Like we ended up being able to figure out how to do it, but it was just kind of like jarring to realize that even though I've gotten as far as I have and done as much as I can to put myself in the position that I am in now, that there are still like little bitty ways people can try and like tear that down. And it was just kind of disconcerting and not all that fun. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed this, that you were able to learn something else. If there are any of these topics that I talked about that you want me to make a longer video about, just leave it in the comments and I'll do my best to. Yeah? Oh, also, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Hello. Thumbs up down below, and give me a subscribe. Go ahead, hit that red button. You know you want to. Go ahead, go ahead. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Have a great night, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. Anyway, bye.